Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard D and I write all sorts of speculative fiction. As you might know, I've got a seafaring background, so when I saw this picture prompt I couldn't resist. I'll put the picture up shortly. The story is called A Girl in Every Port. Frances was just a girl working in the tavern on the quay at Porto Royal. There she waited on tables, clearing empty flagons and plates, and listening to the sailors talk of foreign lands. She found the odd coin or gold nugget on the rough wooden floor and kept them, along with her wages. Once she had enough, she planned to get away on a ship and seek her fortune. The innkeeper and his wife were kind to her. They had taken her in when her mother had died in childbirth. Her father's name was never known, or if it was never mentioned. That night Frances was outside when she heard the conversation through one of the open windows. It concerned Captain Adolphus Gruen, better known as the finest mariner in all the islands. "The Mandrake sails on the tide," one voice said. "Gruen is off to visit another of his ladies," asked the second. The first one laughed. "Oh yes, the captain has a girl in every port." "Except here," said a third voice. "Why is that? Are the girls here not as pretty?" "He had one here," said the first man, "but she died. Worse than that, her brat's around the place somewhere. She works in this very tavern. If you know what's good for you, you'll never mention it where he can hear you." "And why is that?" "He hates the child. She killed her mother in childbirth. Her mother was the only woman Gruen had ever truly loved. The brat took her away from him." Frances stopped what she was doing and burst into tears as what she had heard sank in. All her life she had wondered who her father was. She had seen Gruen and thought he was a fine man, the sort of father that a daughter could be proud of. The Mandrake had even been her first choice for her plan of a new life, and what she had just heard made her angry. It wasn't as if she was unknown to Gruen. They had exchanged more than a few words. She had served him food and rum. He had thanked her by name. No, she was angry that her father had known who she was and had never acknowledged her. Angry that she had to believe he was a good man, and angry that he blamed her for her mother's death. She looked up at the cloudless sky. The moon was full, bright enough to throw shadows. "I will get my revenge on you, Captain Gruen, for abandoning me," she swore. And somewhere, in amongst all the starlight, the universe heard her. Later, the ebb tide was beginning as the Mandrake let go of her lines and swung her bow to the east. With Gruen shouting commands, the sails were quickly unfurled till the ship resembled a towering white cloud, catching every breath of the light breeze. The speed increasing, she passed the breakwater, watched by a waving crowd, including Frances. "Go and never came back," she whispered, as she watched the ship grow smaller. Suddenly the wind increased, and black clouds, sparkling with lightning, raced across the sky in the direction of the Mandrake. The waves whipped up, spray lashed the ship, and it rolled heavily to one side, the sails dipping almost to the water. She could hear the sailors' screams. Gruen bellowed orders, but it was too late to save the Mandrake from a watery embrace. Frances turned away from the unfolding tragedy and faced the winds. There was a contented smile on her face. She wondered if Gruen had ever known that her mother had been Fey, able to command the winds and the waters. If he had, he'd have known that the ability would be passed on to her daughter. I hope you enjoyed that. Keep checking back for more new flash fiction. See you soon.